Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah. Miss you, Mum. Miss you so much.
Mike, look, I know why you're ignoring me, but the funeral's on Tuesday and it'd mean a lot to me if you could be there. If not for Dad, could you at least come for me? Please, Mike.
We're here with the CEO of Second Chance Industries to discuss whether or not the security of this technology is sound. Doctor, do you have anything to say about this?
Postmortem personality simulation is completely safe. There's no need for concern. Each simulation can only be accessed by designated users.
Safety is not the only concern, it's the ethics. We should be respecting the laws of nature, not overriding them. We're resurrecting the images of dead celebrities so we can advertise whatever product of the week we choose.
No, you're missing the point though. These celebrities are agreeing to this pre-death and signing contracts to make appearances after their passing. The ethics are all there.
But Second Chance Industries recently declared that they were researching epigenetics to simulate the personality of people who had died before they even had a mind scan for the machine. How could you possibly declare that there's any ethics to that if they never signed for it?
Legally speaking, the rights to somebody's personality, if they were not available to declare for themselves, lies with the next of kin once they have right of attorney.
The rights? You're talking about real people as if they're fictional characters. You're not doing much to help convince me that Second Chance are a company with any strong morals.
I've been calling you non-stop for almost a week. I mean, you couldn't take just 2 seconds to talk to me after all this time.
I've been really busy at the office, Joe. Look, I'm sorry, all right?
Don't give me that, Mike. It would have taken 2 minutes.
I'll get you another drink. Warm you up.
Yeah, y'all, hospitality when I literally forced myself into your life.
So was the service okay? Were there many people there?
Not many. You know what he was like? Didn't know that many people. I couldn't stay to the end. I had to leave early. You've no idea what it was like. Sitting there, barely knowing anyone. It was tough.
You didn't have to go either.
I did. Out of respect.
Just because the man's dead doesn't mean he deserves our respect. That he didn't abandon us.
Yeah, well, what happened happened, okay? So why dwell on it? I just wanted to say my goodbyes. And you should have too.
Why would I want to spend any more time saying goodbye to him? He's been dead to us for decades. If they found him now, it just confirms the fact that he abandoned us all those years ago.
You could have at least shown up to help me then. You knew I'd have a tough time with it. I left you plenty of messages about it. Why do I never get to see you anymore? I understand why you don't want anything to do with Dad. I don't support it, but I understand. But why me?
I just thought it was time to move on. You're clearly doing fine. I saw you on the TV a few months back with that corpse machine of yours. You don't need me anyway. And
I succeeded despite your absence, not because of it. Where the hell have you been, Mike? Our bloody dad dies and you're still sat here, moping around like it's you against the world. Dad may have abandoned the two of us, but at least he left us with each other. You left me on my own. Listen, my job is actually the reason I came here. Dad's lawyer called me. He said he tried to call you too, but he couldn't get an answer. Dad's last request was to have his mind mapped for a post-mortem personality simulation device. He probably used a lab out of the city, probably trying to avoid me. Either way, you and I are both registered to access the simulation, but...
You want me to come with you?
I really need you for this. Dad's lawyer insisted that it was important we both access it. Please don't leave me hanging again, Mike. It's just one more thing, and then you can forget about him forever. And me too, if you like.
Joe, come on, it's not like that.
I have to go. It's been a long day, and I can tell we'd just be going in circles here all night. Just consider what I've said.
Joe, come on!
But you see, Your Honour, who among us could really speak on behalf of the dead? How can we trust this man's claims of a friendly relationship without speaking to the other side? That is why today I have brought with me a rather unique surprise witness, if I may.
Sorry, Dr. Cassidy. I've just come in to tell you that we've got a client who specifically requested to see you.
Okay, thank you. Send them through.
Joe?
Welcome to Second Chance Laboratories. How may I help you?
Well, you guys have really made the big leagues, haven't you? All the way up to shameless product placement. Very classy.
Come on, Mike, it's not like that. I mean, they can actually use our PPS systems in court cases now to help bring criminals to justice. And besides, the money we get from helping people gives us the opportunity to help even more people.
Look, I'm just messing. Is there somewhere a bit less clinical we can talk?
I know just the place. If you listen back to it, you'll be able to hear it.
I wasn't trying to get away from you all those years ago, Joe. When he left and I looked after you, you were brilliant. I mean, you've always been clever, but in those 5 years, you just pushed yourself more and more. And then when you obviously got to Cambridge, I just thought you didn't need the past weighing you down anymore.
You could have asked me though. You could have talked to me about how you felt. You knew I always wanted to be a scientist, even before Mum died and Dad left. But nothing, none of that is more important to me than you. You're all I have left, Mike. And it hurt to think that you didn't want me hanging around you anymore.
I never thought of it like that. I just never wanted to hold you back. I remember way back before all this second chance stuff took off and you saw the trials on TV. Do you remember what you said? You turned around and told me that you wanted to work on that. So we were the last generation of kids that never got to say goodbye to their parents.
I can't believe you even remember that.
Of course I do. It was the most selfless thing I've ever heard a 12-year-old say.
Did you give any thought to what I said about Dad and PPS?
Look, I'm just going to say it again so you know how I feel. Dad abandoned us. He made his choice. And I say, so be it.
I know, I get that, but what if he had a good reason for leaving us? What if, after all this time, you've been wrong?
What reason could he have?
I don't know, maybe it's something as stupid as the reason you had for abandoning me.
And what if he doesn't have a reason? What if we go there and the answers that he gives us aren't what we want to hear?
Then, at least I know I've got my big brother back to help me through it.
All right, maybe I'll go with you. Maybe.
Mike, if I gave you a second chance for abandoning me...
You have to bring that up again, don't you?
If you get a second chance, why doesn't he?
She'd be proud of you, you know. Well, I'm sure if he had mind scans back then, she'd tell you so.
I've missed this. There's a PPS system free in half an hour. Are you sure you want to do this?
No, but you are, so sign me up.
Okay. Right, I've booked us in. You haven't ever used one of these systems before, have you?
No.
Well, the technology is pretty advanced, but there are obviously limitations. The simulation will have full access to his memory core and will be able to simulate responses to new information based on brainwave patterns. But it's not a perfect science. The more complex the questions you ask, the less likely it is that it can give you an accurate response. Hey! Come on, it's just one more thing and then you never have to think about him again.
It's just... Are you sure you want to go ahead with this? You might not like what he has to say.
I'll never be able to stop asking myself, what if? Unless I do this now. So, yes, I'm sure.
You know, you don't have to do this. It doesn't make you any less of a person if you back out. But, if you do go ahead, I'm right here with you.
Come on, let's get this over with. Dad?
Josephine? Michael? It's good to see you again.
Your lawyer, he said it was important that we talk to you, that your last request was that you had your mind mapped for the postmortem personality simulation device. Why?
Well, I knew you would both have questions about what would happen. And when I realised I was dying, I thought it unfair to leave you without any answers. So I requested a PPS scan so that you would both know what had happened.
Oh, all right, then why did you leave us?
I didn't have any other choice, Joe.
You didn't have a choice? What does that even mean? Everybody has a choice. You certainly had a choice as to whether or not to abandon us.
Mike.
It's all right, Joe. He has a right to be angry. But what you both don't understand is that I did it to protect you both. After your mother died, I struggled to provide for us all. And I didn't want to let you down, not after what you've been through. So extreme measures had to be taken. Work wasn't paying nearly enough. We were scraping by, but not enough to give you the life you both deserved. So I decided to get a loan from some dangerous people. But when they found out where I worked, they threatened me to falsify property insurance so they could claim money from arson. I didn't then want to endanger you, so I did it. But then they kept asking me for more, until eventually they wanted me to falsify life insurance. They were going to murder someone to claim the money, and they wanted me to be an accomplice. I couldn't be involved with that, but I couldn't do anything about it. If I told anybody, I'd be arrested, and your lives would be in danger. The only thing I could do was disappear completely, leaving only the evidence required to incriminate them. I knew I couldn't resurface. They would be out of jail in no time. And if they knew I was still alive and had a family, well, I dread to think what would happen.
That's it. That's the best explanation you have. You screwed up so bad that you had to abandon your kids.
Mike, please.
No matter how much you think you did this for the benefit of us, you left us in an even worse state. I was 18. Joe was 13. We were barely getting by with our dad. So what do you think's going to help the situation? Oh yeah, start acting like bloody Scarface and start dealing with the mob. How's that any better? Joe thought you were dead. Or at the very least you just pissed off and left us.
I'm sorry. Could you rephrase that question in a simpler manner?
Mike.
I know. Just give me a minute.
Joe, the reason I agreed to a mind map was so that you would both know. I knew I couldn't return without endangering you both, but I couldn't bear the thought of you two thinking I left because I didn't love you, or it was your fault, and I was always there for you in a way. I stayed in the area to make sure you were never found, and so I could watch you both grow, and I'm so proud of what you've both accomplished. Leaving you both was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, even harder than losing your mother. And the only thing that made it easier was knowing how much you had both matured. Especially you, Michael. After your mother's passing, knowing your sister would be in safe hands with you was the only thing that made the pain bearable. I don't expect forgiveness. I know I screwed up, I know I failed you, and you have a right to be angry about that. All I want for you both to understand is that I always loved you up until the day I died, and I never wanted any of this for you. You deserved so much more.
I forgive you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joe, for everything.
It's okay. It's okay. I love you, Mike. I'm just glad to have my brother back. Okay? Thanks, Dad. I love you. I'm sorry. With over 16 million post-mortem personality simulation devices being sold within 48 hours last year, Second Chance Industries has been able to fund research into new and exciting opportunities such as epigenetics and instantaneous mind mapping.
Not too busy filming adverts for your big brother, are you?
No, of course not. Take a seat.
So, I guess I don't have to remind you that today is...
Yeah, I was going to swing by yours on the way home to see if you wanted to go visit a grave together.
I've got a bit of a confession to make, Joe. I've been nipping into Second Chance whenever I know you're away doing promotions.
Why?
I've obviously never been the best at understanding all of this, but I thought I may as well try and help out where I can, especially as it's so important to you. So I asked if they needed any help doing epigenetics.
What are you saying?
Epigenetics allows you to simulate any deceased mind, right? But you need the consent of a living relative in order to do so. So I asked the question, if I got to pick the scientist to do the trial run, would I get to give my consent?
Mike, you didn't.
While you were away yesterday, I got them to map it into your personal PPS device. Just in time for the anniversary.
Mum?